So you decided you want a ball python. A good choice. But before you decide what kind, hear me out, because I need to talk to you about something. This here is Modi, my ball python, and I'm Ren, and you're watching Northman Serpents. Let's talk about it. So as you've been looking for ball pythons, I'm sure you've come across quite a few morphs. Different colors and patterns. It's probably overwhelming. I believe there's actually over 7,000 different morphs. I know there's more morphs of ball pythons than there are species of snakes on Earth, which is crazy. But today I want to talk to you about why you should choose one that looks like Modi. And I've got reasons, so just hear me out. I would strongly suggest that at least one of your ball pythons is a wild type. We'll talk about cost, where they come from, and what I believe is a epidemic that we have going on in the reptile community that you can help with. So stick around. As I mentioned, there's a few reasons I want to give you to consider before choosing what kind of ball python you get. And before we get into the serious stuff, we'll start off with some of the basics that everybody is concerned about. And that is cost. Modi here, I got them for $30. You would be pressed to find any other snake for $30, let alone an amazing looking one like this. And Modi here is only 6 months old, so he's gonna get a lot bigger. And substantial snakes like that, you just don't find for that cheap. And we'll get into why they're that cheap here in a little bit. But if you don't have the biggest budget for your first snake, this is probably a great choice, because if you're able to get a good deal on your animal, you can put the rest of the money that you had into the enclosure and making it look really cool. Maybe do a bioactive, or just set it up to look awesome. Get all types of cool plants in there and decor, and really go all out on the enclosure and make it a showpiece. And you're gonna want one for this beautiful snake. Number two is gonna be that they look awesome. I mean, look at the colors. Look at all the colors you get in there. The pattern, the alien heads in here. One of my favorite parts of Modi is this cool little spot that like only half broke through. And they all have unique patterns. You're not gonna find any snake with the exact same pattern as yours when you're talking wild ball pythons. Wild type, not wild. See that belly and the checkering? It's just really cool looking snake. And it's cool to know that this is what they look like in Africa where they live. They look like this in the wild, so when they're in their enclosure and you got all those plants and it looks like a jungle in there, he looks awesome crawling around there. And it really makes you feel like you have a jungle in your living room or your bedroom or wherever you're keeping them. See his head pattern? Just a really gorgeous animal. He's such a good boy. Huh. Number three, it's gonna sound funny, but the uniqueness. With all the morphs and how popular they've become, it's almost rare to see someone who's proud of their wild type ball python. But they are amazing animals. And you having one, a really beautiful wild type, it's gonna stand out because most people are going for the morphs. And it's become to a point now where having a wild type, having a normal is not normal anymore. You really will kind of stand out by getting one of these guys. I also think it's cool that, so I like to pretend that if he were to go back into the wild, well, not back, he's never been in the wild, but you know what I mean. I like to think that he could survive. He absolutely could not, because he's the biggest baby on earth, but just let me live, okay? A lot of the morphs, they're brightly colored, they stand out, and they'd just be picked off by predators in a matter of probably, if not hours, days. But there's at least a chance that Modi here could blend in and possibly live a long wild life if he had to. Not that he ever would need to, but I think it's cool that he could. Number 4, you're not gonna have any type of inherent neurological or any type of disabilities in your wild type ball python. How do you know about this? Some of you may not, but there are some genes, some morphs that come with disabilities, essentially. And there's some of them, like spiders, that no matter what, 100% of them come with essentially a disability. I have one. I have a spider in the other room, and she will get disoriented and flip upside down, and she had quite a bit of trouble eating for a long time. We are just now getting her to a point where she will eat, and she still hasn't taken a meal fully on her own yet. Just got her to strike for the first time last night, and we got her in July. You don't have to worry about that with these guys, which is great when you are getting your first snake, because it's incredibly stressful. I've had snakes all my life. I quite literally cannot remember the first reptile I had because I was too young. And it stressed me out. It is stressful. So, every snake is different, and some snakes may have issues, but there's nothing inherently going to be wrong with a wild type ball python. This is Tulu, by the way. She is a banana Mojave spider ball python, and that spider gene, see down her back, she has had a lot of issues. As you can see, she's got a lot of injuries from it. She has a whole story. You can kind of see that she doesn't really act like a normal snake. She will kind of get disoriented. She'll flip upside down. It's very sad. Like I said, we've had her since either June or July. Still hasn't completely ate on her own yet, but we are slowly getting her back to health. It's been a journey. She has not shed once since we've had her. And just for reference, if you don't know, snakes generally, when they're young like this, they will shed roughly once a month-ish. And she is only, I think, 2 months younger than Modi. You can see the size difference. But she is the sweetest girl. She's so pretty. It's really sad, but we're working on her. If you want to see a video on her story, let me know. Yeah, I'd love to take you guys through what we have been through with her so far and where she's going. Yeah, we're hoping to have her healthy real soon. She finally struck at a rat for the first time. Just kind of scared me because I wasn't expecting it. She never strikes, so it's Tulu. And that's the type of neurological. I heard that they recently discovered it wasn't neurological. I don't know. Yeah, no issues with wild types. Something you definitely gotta watch. Now, number 5, and definitely the most important reason, is due to what I believe is an epidemic that we have in the reptile community. And that is the overbreeding of ball pythons. There is an incredible amount of ball pythons out there that people are breeding. And don't get me wrong, do not confuse what I'm saying at all. Breeders are incredibly important. We need them. They do incredible work. I know quite a few personally. They're great people, so don't take this as me bashing breeders. But I just don't think that we need any more. And the ones that we do have already, I'll have to explain to you how clutches work. So a clutch is basically a litter, is what most people would be familiar with. A litter refers to a group of live born animals. A clutch is what snakes have, so a group of eggs. And in each clutch of ball pythons, if you are breeding for morphs, you're gonna have a few of the morphs that you're looking for, and you're gonna have a few that look like this, that get het traits or heterozygous, which is the traits that he can pass on to his babies but do not show up visually. And when you're breeding for these expensive morphs, it's quite inconvenient to have a bunch of these guys that go for $20, $30. And I've heard some stories about what happens to the wild type animals that aren't wanted. And they're not feel good stories. Now, I've never seen this personally, but I've heard stories, and it only stands to reason that a lot of these wild type animals are culled or euthanized, put down, because it's just not what the breeder was looking for. They don't want to take up the space, the resources. You have to feed them, you have to house them till you sell them, and it would only stand to reason that when you're dealing with hundreds of snakes, you're gonna keep the money makers. But if we start showing an interest in these beautiful wild type animals, maybe we can change that, or at least help it. Maybe we can at least save a few animals if we show that these guys are wanted, they're desired, we think they're cool, we think they're beautiful, just like the morphs. Because with most morphs, there's no difference in the animal besides just how they look. And I could probably name off the top of my head 20 morphs that I don't think look as good. Just think about it when you're trying to decide If this is your first snake, it won't be your last. It's like tattoos. You're not gonna get just one. And as you can see, it doesn't stop at one. You'll have plenty of time to get your morphs, your banana, watermelon, cappuccino, skim milk, latte, grizzly bear, ball python. But just consider at least adding one of these to your collection. Just look at them. My heart would break into pieces if I knew that he was put down for just looking like how they originally were meant to look. Because it looks awesome. It looks so cool. Modi, by the way, is an absolute angel. He's one of my favorite animals on earth. There's no other animal that I trust more than him. If I needed to hand a snake to someone who's afraid of snakes, or to a child, or I could hand him to anyone, and I know that he is gonna be his sweet self. He's so well socialized. You can touch his head. You probably don't know this, but ball pythons, that's usually not a thing. Just an amazing animal. And yeah, that's gonna do it for why I think at least one of your animals should be a wild type, and we should call them what they are, which is wild type. If you can do that, who knows, you could be saving at least one animal. And if enough of us do that, we can make a big difference. And that goes for hog noses and whatever other species you might want to get as well. Don't forget to like, subscribe. Modi would definitely appreciate it. He's a clout chaser. Okay, he wants all the clout. He likes clout almost as much as rats. Just, give him some likes, maybe a sub, hit the subscribe button, ring the bell. He loves bells. You can't hear them, but he loves them. He can feel the vibration. If you learned something, if you got anything out of this video, go watch some of my other videos. I'll definitely have more coming out. We love you. Be good to your animals, be good to each other, and we will see you in the next one.